Hey, amazing people. Today what we're going to do is we're going to look at congruent triangles. Now, in order to understand congruent triangles, first of all, we need to understand what the word congruent means. Now, congruent, what it means is that in the case of figures, that they are identical in form and coinciding exactly when superimposed. So that means if we were to lay them over the top of one another and position them in the right way, so that they've got the points pointing in the right direction, that they would be exactly the same, that they would lie over each other and cover the other one up perfectly with no overlap or nothing sticking out from the lower one. That's what it means when they're congruent. Now, in the case of triangles, we can take this a little bit further. So two triangles are congruent if their corresponding sides are equal in length and their corresponding angles are also equal in measure. Often this is referred to as being the same shape and the same size. Now, in addition to this, when we're doing the proof of congruency, there's a certain way in which we show some things. First of all is when we are saying two shapes are congruent, we always use this symbol, which kind of looks like an equal sign, but with three lines. And what this means is this is saying there is congruency here. This is the same as this. And so that's one of the first symbols. The next one is how we identify triangles. So often we'll use what is a triangle shape, and then we'll list the letters which correspond to each of the corners of that triangle. So it could be triangle ABC. We could also have triangle DEF, or it could be any sort of letters. But what we're doing is we're trying to identify the triangle we are talking about here. Now, further to this is when we're dealing with angles and sides. So first of all, dealing with angles, when we're talking about an angle in a triangle, what we're going to use is we're going to use this symbol here, which shows two lines with meeting at a point, and that point representing the angle. And the way we would go about this is we list the 3 points that make up that point, that angle. So we always start with where we're going and then as if we're drawing it out. So in this case here, we could say it's angle ABC. So in this case here, the angle is at the point of B in this triangle, starting at point A, drawing to B, and then across to C. And that's how we're identifying it. Another one, if we had, say, angle X, Y, Z, what we're saying here is the angle in this triangle is at point Y, and it's can be seen by drawing a line from X to Y and then to Z, and that's the angle which is being represented here. And the last one is identifying sides of triangles. In order to identify sides, what I'm going to do them is I'm going to use the two letters where we would trace from one letter to the other to identify those sides. So in this case here, if I had a side BC, that's how I'm going to represent that. Or I could have another side, let's say it's YZ. I could also use that to represent a line going from point Y to point Z. So that's how we represent these various parts in a congruent triangle as we do these proofs.